Today I'm going to show you guys how to make mac and cheese for this holiday season. Pay attention, I don't have time this year. First, boil some water, salt it like the ocean, and we're going to add 1 pound of cavatappi pasta because the cream gets all in the hole and then you bite into the cream. So boil 1 pound. So we're going to boil the pasta for 8 minutes, giving a little stir every 2 minutes. The part everyone hates, but it is necessary. You have to shred your own cheese. Pre-shredded cheese has a film on it and it becomes very grainy and it doesn't melt all the way. That's why you have to shred your own cheese if you want a nice creamy, cheesy mac and cheese. You're gonna shred up 1 pound of mozzarella, 1 pound of Kobe Jack, 8 ounces of cheddar cheese. So we have to shred up all our cheese and remember to divide it in half. Now that the cheese is shredded and divided up, now we're gonna add our seasonings, some salt, pepper. I don't measure my seasonings, but if you're unsure, start with the teaspoon and then taste the cheese sauce as you go. And if you want more, add more of something. I like to do garlic powder and of course smoked paprika because I like smoky flavored things. So now we're gonna make our roux. Listen up. We're gonna start with medium heat. Melt down 3 tablespoons of butter. A roux is equal part fat and equal part flour. Now that our butter's all melted, we're gonna add half our seasonings. Because what we're doing, we're blooming the seasonings. So it's pretty much like waking up the seasonings, giving them a little bit more flavor. I let this cook for about 30 seconds. We're still on medium heat. All right, so it's been 30 seconds. We're gonna add 3 tablespoons of flour. Still on medium heat, we're gonna mix this all up and make sure it's all combined. And I let this cook for about 2 minutes. If your mac and cheese is grainy, one of the reasons could be because you don't cook the flour all the way out. It's been 2 minutes. We're gonna add 1 can, 12 ounces of evaporated milk. We're switching to a whisk so we can get all the clumps out. So we're gonna add a little at a time and just mix. You gotta be patient. A lot of people just dump the whole can in and that's why their mac and cheese comes out soupy. My mac and cheese isn't soupy, it's creamy. Also, make sure it's evaporated milk, not condensed milk. They're 2 different things. Evaporated milk is milk with at least 60% of the water evaporated. That's where the creaminess comes in from. I did a lot of experimenting to get the perfect texture, and that's why I went with evaporated milk instead of regular whole milk. So what we're doing now is called bechamel. I'm teaching you guys some French. We're adding cream milk to the roux. Adding the last bit in. We're still on medium heat. We're gonna add 2 cups of heavy cream, but we're gonna add it in increments just like we did with the evaporated milk. You're just gonna keep pouring and whisking at the same time. The process might take you about 5 to 7 minutes. Add in the last bit of heavy cream. Now we're gonna add the last bit of seasonings and a good spoonful of Dijon mustard. I always get asked why the mustard, because mustard and cheddar, they pair very well together and it just enhances the flavor of the 2. Now we're gonna turn the heat to low or we're gonna turn it off because we're gonna add half our cheese. And if it's too hot, the cheese can curdle, which is another reason why it will be grainy and gritty, and it'll also separate. So we want the heat low or off. Slowly add the cheese. We're gonna add a handful and then whisk it in until it's all melted and then we'll add more. For some reason, your cheese sauce is way too thick, like it's so hard to stir. Add a little splash of milk. Milk is used as a thinner, so it'll help thin out the cheese sauce. What we're making right now is called a mornay, more French. Add in the last bit of cheese. So now our cheese is all melted. This is what it should look like. We're now gonna add our pasta. Moving back to our spatula, we're just gonna fold in the pasta with the cheese sauce. And you'll know you did it right if it sounds like this. Because that's what good put. So now at this step, if you're unsure about your seasonings, take a piece of noodle, try it. If you want a little bit more, something, add a little bit more. So we have our baking dish. We're gonna add half our pasta because we're gonna layer it. So now we have our other half of cheese. We're gonna add half of this and we're gonna put this down here. Now we're gonna add the last layer of pasta and the last layer of cheese all on top. Now we're gonna put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. I like to broil it for a few minutes just so it gets that nice crust on top. All right, so it's done out the oven. We have to do a crust test. That's what we like to hear. I have some green onions. You can use green onions, chives, parsley. Here's what she looks like. Moment of truth, the cheese pool. We have to go in the middle because I like to piss people off. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Beautiful. Look at that. Don't mess it up this year.